by Circus Sports, live from Circus Sports. Ryan Noonan, Connor Allen, and a special guest, one of the top performers last year in the Circa Millions contest, none other than the man himself, Andy Molitor. What's going on?
T16 out of 5,413. I don't know exactly. It was something like that. But yeah, it's fun. We're back. We just signed up. We all got the hats. Look at us. Look at us go. Expensive hats right now.
We look great,
but
yeah.
later on, we don't know. Maybe we're coming back in 18 weeks. Stand there with the giant cardboard novelty check. You can't bring those to the bank. It's sad.
Did they
Really?
fit you for a jacket? Because they fitted us for a jacket.
They just, year one, I told them 44 regular, and then a couple years back, I said 46 regular.
Yeah, there's
I
nothing
did,
regular
I,
about
did,
it.
I did have to update my size. My shoulders got broader from lifting.
Yeah, of course. It was all the lifting,
It
right?
wasn't the constant cooking. But no, we're all signed up. You guys signed up. We signed up. We all found our girl Tony down there. Football proxy.
Yeah, Tony, Vegas, Maddie, crushing it. Great experience. Took like 5 minutes. This is our first time registering for Circa Millions, so I'm really excited for the season. Honestly, it's like 5 against the spread picks each week, 6 million guaranteed, but I think going to go over that, and then no rake, $1,000 entry. I mean,
Can't beat that.
good day to be great. It's gonna be awesome.
It is trending to go over the 6 million, and anything over that just goes right back into the pot. Survivor was 18.7 last year, trending closer to 20 or 25. The rough guess. I think Mike Palm guessed right around there yesterday.
25 would be sick. That'd be
25
most ever, right?
Yeah, by a lot. Yeah, last year was the biggest. It was 18.7. I think guaranteed was a little less than that. We went over. So I'm gonna go over. What's the opposite of overlay? I don't know. They need a word for that. Underlay. Yeah, there's gonna be like $5 million in underlay. The Grandissimo already has like what, 33 entries in that. I think it was
That's some sicko shit. What is that? A 1,000? 100?
100,000 per entry, 2 entry max. So
Survivor?
Don't get any ideas. You can't do like 10 entries in that.
That's the millions. That's still 5 picks, right? That's not the.
No, that is Survivor. Grandissimo is
Survivor.
it's Survivor. It's a different kind of strategy though because there's not as many people in it. And you're not going to Christmas most likely.
Yeah.
I think that one ended on Thanksgiving last year where there was a split. I knew some people that had the Friday game, or they didn't have the Friday game. They lost early on Thanksgiving, and then everybody else had. Who won that Bears-Eagles game? Who was the dog there?
Bears the dog. We won.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they killed him.
I think everybody else who was alive had the Eagles, and so they needed the Bears to win, and then everybody was out, and it was a chop. So and that's what ended up happening, if I remember right. But it's still a lot of money to split up, and that's trending towards maybe 70, 80 again, maybe 100 entries. That'll be 10 million in that pot then if we get to 100.
That'd be crazy. You're not firing any Grandissimo entries?
No, I might see if somebody wants to sell me a little bit of it. It's funny, me and Drew didn't think the whale capper we entered today, but I also entered a couple weeks ago. I'm in some other groups. I think that's a fun way if you don't want to drop $1,000 or you can't come here. Find somebody who can or is and buy part of theirs. I have a small part of 6 other Survivor entries that the Deep Dive DGen Discord has thrown together.
That's amazing.
I always do that, and then I give them no input. You're allowed to vote what part of the group you want to be. I want to be heavily involved. I'll give input, or I like chicken breast.
What did you put?
Yeah,
You're a chicken breast
I'm
guy?
a chicken breast guy. I'm just not going to be. I'm not going to be helping out at all. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want the blood on my hands.
Yeah, it's tough. Also, Andy, we have like 2 more minutes. You got another radio spot. So I think before you leave, you got one pick. You got you got $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
You go and place one future. What do you got? What are you playing?
It's more burnt orange, sunrise orange. What's the orange in Denver?
I don't know. Yeah, orange. Yeah, orange crush. Yeah,
It's the orange
yeah.
crush. Yeah, I'm more Denver. Drew tried to talk me out of it. I got a better ticket on them than the current market, but I still like them.
What are you into? Win the division,
AFC,
Super Bowl,
AFC.
AFC.
AFC, a big
Bo
Sean-
Nix MVP?
I hate Sean Payton. I think he's a horrible person. I think he's
Like that on record.
Yeah.
a despicable human being who has a secret family in Dallas that I think a lot of people.
What?
It's
Really?
No, but it's a rumor. And when he was in New Orleans, there was also a rumor.
All right.
I don't like him. He's part of Bounty Gate. He hurt my Brett Favre that time. but he's a really good coach. And man, if you have a really good coach in the playoffs and you got that defense, Bo Nix just needs to be, a regular guy. I think we can put Noonan behind that line, and it's a really good
quarterback back in the day.
really good offensive line. I think we're going to be fine with a 50th percentile quarterback, win a couple playoff games, get it done this year, going to the Super Bowl, get just waxed by the Rams. So
I mean, that
Broncos AFC.
sounds about right.
Yep.
Love it.
Well, appreciate you coming by. Thank you for the picks. We'll maybe do a home and home on your show at some point today.
Yeah.
And yeah, good luck this
Let's
year.
not just film it over here. You guys get the camera set.
Tech Lords over here.
All right,
Yeah, it
cool.
took us a bit.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Do you want me to just get up and leave?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wanna speak
yeah
more?
this is what. Yeah, give everyone the full look. Exactly. Look at that. See, look, he's been hitting the gym.
Yeah. It looks more like a 42 regular.
That's
to me.
great.
Let's tie you guys in.
Yeah, no,
Thanks,
that's
buddy.
good.
All right, appreciate you guys.
See you, Andy.
Are you guys just going to keep doing live show now?
Yeah, we're ripping. We're gonna talk some Survivor, talk some Millions. We got a bunch of awesome insights for Millions that we wanted to talk about. So
Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
thanks.
Andy never fails. Always delivers. Turn in the Betsperts Golf podcast too if you want more Andy and more of me talking golf. But yeah, he's a character. Yeah, he did really, really well last year. We don't want to give Andy his flowers too often.
Yeah.
But he did. He flirted with some quarterly.
He won. I thought one or second or third,
Yeah,
maybe in
I
the
think he
quarterly.
did one more. I think there was a week where he got real close, but yeah, he did pretty well. And it was funny, totally Andy too, is he had actually no idea until week 15.
Really?
He was doing well, and then went and looked because he was actually doing he was on an actual heater.
Yeah.
And felt like, hey, I'm actually betting all these games, doing really well. They're winning, but these are actually also my Survivor or my Millions picks. It's like I should probably look at how I'm doing in the standings. Classic Andy.
Totally.
Turns out he's doing pretty well. So
Yeah, it's great. We're getting some feedback here that Ryan's mic is dead, and it looks like it's dead on my end, but
okay,
we can,
group mic.
yeah, group mic. I mean, we can share it here. Probably just gotta yell and crank the volume
Get a little
here.
closer.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we're meant to do, anyways. It's nice and close.
We don't do a lot of live shows together.
Yeah, okay.
from
We're getting
in-person.
good feedback from both of them. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think Andy won a ton of money last year. I mean, 30K, 40K, something like that. So
Nice.
I love too that they have prizes for coming in last. At what point do you flip to just taking the worst CLV? Because so obviously how this works is picks lock or the spreads lock on Thursdays.
Yeah.
You have until Saturday to submit. So obviously there's going to be injuries, there's going to be some line movement, things like that after Thursdays. So there's different strategies, right? It's do you take the best CLV, obviously? Do you lock those in? When does that matter? We try to do some of the research there, and I think it makes sense, honestly, to go through it, because a lot of people play in pick five against the spread pools, and
Yeah.
I think the game theory and strategy behind it is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's other things that are comparable to the Survivor Millions that aren't necessarily Survivor Millions. So yeah, I get hit up with friends that are looking for, hey, I need your picks for the week. I need what's going on. So what are your thoughts? Yeah, it's just kind of a unique, interesting discussion point. We ran some data on it as Austin Eckler walks by, which is, always interesting to see. I'm going to tell him how much he, made me some money in DraftKings, about 10 years ago by
Yeah.
catching a bunch of checkdowns late in the game, the fourth quarter. But yeah.
Yeah, absolute PPR god. So
Yeah.
love that. That's really cool. Yeah, let's go through some of the Circa Million stuff again. So pick five against the spread each week. That's kind of what we're looking at for this type of contest. And last year, or the winning score was 60.5 points. You get 1 point per correct pick. You get half a point for a push, I believe, and then 0 for a loss, obviously. So 60.5 was the winning score. 54 is the cash line out of 90 total picks. The field aggregate from 2024 to 2025, 49.6% against the spread. That is not going to be profitable. That's
Nope.
not going to that's
Nope.
not going to pass.
In any way, shape, or form. And if you're just betting those games individually, it's not profitable. But it is interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, so don't love our chances of the outright here. We're looking at 1%. You got to hit 60-something% against the spread. Now that being said, maybe there's a lot of injury news. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we get a lot of positive CLV opportunities,
Yeah.
and we peruse those correctly. Because basically what the research says is that if the line moves through a 3 or 7, which again makes logical sense, that
Yeah.
it's no matter the ownership, it's like an auto pick. You just got to lock it in. You got to pick it. Now, if the line only moves maybe a point or two from, 3.5 to 5 or something like that, that maybe it's going to get a lot of ownership, and it might be a good opportunity to fade, even at worse odds.
Okay. Yeah, because that was something we were talking about yesterday was really, is this a situation where I understand Survivor game theory, and fading perceived chalk, right? When you have, we keep talking about like the clear week 1 chalk and Survivor, the Chargers against the Cardinals, and is it wise to, not step in front of that train? But I was really curious to see if there was anything on the data side that would speak to how to handle chalk on the million side, because at the end of the day, you still got to pick 5 picks. You still got to hit winners. There's not a ton of leverage that I would think based off of ownership, but the data does tell us that it actually does matter a little bit.
Yep, yeah, and if you look at, so when the frozen number versus the close, you can look at if it got better by 2+ points, out of the 26 times that happened, it covered 61.5% of the time, so pretty good rate there. Better by half to 2 points, happened 140 times, wins 53.2% of the time, so again, probably still worth taking situationally. If the number moved correctly, that makes a ton of sense. Within half is about dead. If it gets worse, as you can imagine, like the number is like the inverse of what we just talked about with the other two.
Yeah, which is not super surprising.
Yeah, one other thing too that I thought was what numbers the field picks, or like what games the field picks. So 8% of the field picked Sunday night games, which I thought was interesting, which is like well over the average of what it should have been, based on like how many games are available. And then favorites are picked 11% more often than underdogs.
Oh, okay. The Thursday night game is the fascinating one. So the lines come out for us to make selections on Thursday afternoon, basically. And when you want to select Thursday, you have to submit your full week on Thursday as well, instead of getting like the Saturday entry time where you can lock in your picks. So I was interested to see, it looks like, was that
3%?
3% picking.
So a
on
lot
Thursday.
less. So like again, both island games, 3% of people pick a Thursday night game, 7.5% on Monday, 8.2% on Sunday night. So again, Sunday night seems to be the king.
Yeah.
Why that's the most picked game? Maybe it's just better games. Maybe it's people have more opinions. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because you have to feel like you have a real edge on Thursday to submit your entire week on
your
Thursday.
entire card. Yeah,
right?
which I don't know if we're ever going to do that.
Probably
to be
very
honest.
rare, I would imagine.
Yeah, we would have to be like, it would have to be a massive move on a Thursday or something that we'd feel good about.
Yeah, and even your edge on a Thursday, are you giving up a little bit of equity and edge on the other 4 to lock in a perceived edge on Thursday? It doesn't seem like it's a strong EV move on submission.
No, I agree. It's kind of an interesting viewpoint. One other thing too, you can look at the champion profiles, so look at the people who won and what kind of picks they made. So 2024, someone took a favorite 91.1% of the time. Average ownership of their picks was 20.4%. So chalkiness 56th percentile as well. And basically there's no correlation between winners or even top 10s really. It's all over the place. It seems like it's a year-to-year thing based on how favorites are performing, how underdogs are performing, et cetera. So. It's pretty crazy. Honestly, I think those are most of the notes that I had on Circa Millions.
I still think it just boils down to make the right place.
Yeah,
right.
I kind of think so as well, which is maybe lame. Maybe it's just like, pick the right picks.
Yeah, it is. But probably avoid Thursdays. I don't think you'd be shy on as the line moves and look at CLV. We're first time for us tackling this tournament. A lot of sharp people, a lot of sharp groups. That's a struggle too, knowing that we're up against some pretty big aggregate groups that are submitting and kind of covering and hedging all that stuff too.
Yeah, we're quite the underdog here, but that's okay.
Makes it fun.
Yeah, I also think we should touch on some quick Survivor stuff, and then as well as like week 1, real quick. So obviously they have the Survivor pool as well. It's a little bit different. There's a couple different Survivor pools. With Circa, there's 2 double pick weeks, so you have to make 20 picks total if you survive the entire thing. Again, as Andy mentioned, it's going to be like 25-ish million, we think, that is going to be chopped by the winners, whoever wins there. And so there's a lot of different strategies, especially too with like week 18. Some teams sit, some teams don't play. So I'd like model that one out. There's not look ahead lines here, but I use look ahead lines to figure out the quote optimal pick for each week. And I mean, it starts early. Like week 1, you have the Chargers against the Cardinals, who are 10.5 point favorites. You have the Jaguars, who are 7.5 to. I think think it's going to keep climbing.
Yeah, I think we both like that Jags number.
Yeah, the Jags number there against the Browns in week 1. But then you have some of the lower owned, kind of guys that like the Raiders against Miami are probably going to be super highly owned because you don't want to use the Raiders again. And like Raiders, you're fading the Cardinals, you're fading the Dolphins all year. But I think that's where you can get yourself in a sticky situation. So.
Think about the wonky stuff that happens early in the season all the time. Like we were referencing it earlier, like last year. The Raiders went into New England and won, right? Like, and New England is going to the Super Bowl, and the Raiders have the first pick in the draft. So, like, that's why right now, it seems like the Chargers are such an easy pick in week one. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to win, but it is such a spot where like you just don't want to run. Your season ends right away in Survivor.
Yeah,
that's the struggle.
I think that I'm going to put in some smaller entries down the road and maybe some spots, and probably flirt with the idea of getting a little bit more creative early.
Yeah.
Am I doing that in Circuit Survivor, $1,000 entry? Probably not, to be honest. I think that that's kind of a tough sell for me. But I don't blame him. I mean, again, like this is what the problem though is that if you're doing 1 or 2 entries and you're playing against groups that are doing 10, maybe more, it's 10 max, but there's people who can do other ways to get around that, and so yeah, it's like I don't blame them. There are going to be people with the Raiders, going to be people with other kind of like smaller favorites that you just don't want to use later on in the season.
Yeah, Connor had a great thread today at Connor Allen NFL, talking about just like mapping out and planning. So regardless of like what your week one pick is, I think you just have to have, regardless, you just have to be forward thinking. You can't essentially open up and take a week at a time. You have to be a little bit more forward thinking. You have to be a little bit more strategic, depending on like how you're leveraging, depending on how your pool does it, like Circa does. Like you have to make multiple picks in a couple of weeks, right? When you get to the holiday weeks, you have to think through. I have to have available players and teams on Thursday for Thanksgiving, for instance, right? So you have to be a little bit planful in trying to map it out. You just can't open up the slate and be like, all right, who's the biggest favorite of the week? You have to be thinking a little bit more down the road.
And that's what's crazy. So Thanksgiving is really tough. I mean, there's five games that fall in that area.
Yeah.
Rams versus Packers, and the Rams are the mega chalk at this point. The biggest expected win.
Yeah.
Bills, Chiefs, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Steelers, Cowboys, Eagles. I mean, just brutal. Like tons of coin flips, tons of good teams, great football watching slate, but very difficult for Survivor. And then Christmas too. Eagles versus Texans, Bills, Broncos, Bears, Packers, Rams, Seahawks. These are all like coin flips.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you can plan out as much as you want, and then you get to these situations, and maybe there needs to be an injury. You got to get lucky a little bit with some of it, because there's not a clear situation right now where I'm looking and we're like, oh, I feel good about any of those selections.
No, the Thanksgiving one in particular, obviously you can't get to Christmas until you navigate Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people died out last year. So that's just a tough week. And then you have to make another pick for the week of the Sunday games, right? Essentially the main slate of stuff too. But yeah, your Rams stuff, like you're going to have some spots where I think the Rams play the Cardinals before we get to Thanksgiving. You're going to want to use the Rams that week, but you have to actually be thinking about Thanksgiving, whereas that right now on paper, no injuries. The 5 games that we have slated on Thanksgiving, the Rams are the clear pick for now. So that's definitely challenging. You're going to want to use the Rams at some point before that, I guarantee. But you really feels like you can't.
Yeah, no, you pretty much can't. What I thought was interesting too is that Arizona is the opponent in 6 of the 20 picks in the optimal path, which is hilarious. But
they're going to win a couple of games.
They're going to win some games,
right.
and they're going to be 10-point dogs. They're going to be 7-point dogs in a lot of these games, and then just randomly win. What's crazy to me is their team sucks. Don't get me wrong, but they have some good players. Jacoby Brissett, Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Jeremiah Love when he's healthy. Like that offense alone, if some team just comes in and has a bad offensive day or is struggling randomly, I don't know, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, this Cardinals team is going to win some random games.
Yep, absolutely. We know that. We know that they can hang some points. Like there's some young talent on the defensive side that can continue to emerge and grow. This isn't like a pro Cardinals over.
No, definitely
show,
not. Yeah, let's be clear.
But it's also like we just have to be honest. Like these are actual NFL football teams. They're going to be really competitive and put out some, some competitive games. So they're going to be breakers of a lot of survivor pools at some point. We just don't know when those are going to be, because like you said, they're going to be one of the chalk teams to go against every week, right? It's like who the Cardinals play this week, who's Miami play this week. It's going to absorb a lot of survivor ownership, and knowing when to zig and zag off of that perceived chalk is going to be.
It would be a very Chargers thing to lose in week 1. It would be just the ultimate Chargers thing. Vibes are high. You get Mike McDaniel. You're feeling good.
Yeah.
And then they just somehow find a way to shit the bed, and that's just would not be surprising at all.
I mean, look, it's happened every year. We talked about it with some people the other night. Think about like week 1, 2 years ago, Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots went into Cincinnati.
Oh my gosh, that burned me. That burned me on some of them. Yeah.
So like there's some early season just wacky stuff every year. We come in after having done this for months and months. We feel like we know who these teams are. We think we know how these things are going to go. And then it becomes very clear that like it's football, man. There's variance. They still have to play the game, and we have these a handful of instances the last handful of years of. In both these instances, the Pats were on the road.
Oh yeah.
Beat Cincinnati.
Yep.
The Pats lost at home, right? The Raiders were on the road. So,
Yep.
you can't even just get cute with like, I'm just going to take a nice big home favorite. You have to get a little bit more creative.
Yeah. So
This
I
is
think,
why I'm not in Survivor.
Yeah,
These are the reasons why Survivor is not for me. It seems so clean and easy. One team, you don't have to worry about the spread,
Yeah.
just win in advance. And
I always say I'm not going to play, and then I end up playing. I end up firing a couple entries, but a couple other like stats that were interesting. 6 teams never clear a 60% win probability in a single game all season: Arizona, Atlanta, Carolina, Cleveland, Miami, and the Jets. Vegas and Tennessee cleared exactly once. I think Vegas is week 1, and so I mean Tennessee clearing against anyone is kind of crazy, to be honest, as well.
Yeah.
Don't know what week that is, but
that's probably, I think they host Miami at some point.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to me. I think that I'm more apt personally to fade Miami. I think like as a long-term thing than Arizona.
Yeah.
We've talked about it at length. I mean, I think that they legitimately are one of the worst rosters that we've seen in years. When like top to bottom, offensive line, receivers. I mean, did you see them tweet out the receivers? Caleb Douglas, Chris Bell, and I mean, maybe these guys are good. Like maybe they're.
I'm interested in Chris Bell, but I don't want to make any player takes.
I'm a big Caleb Douglas guy in fantasy, but
Yeah.
like the ball does have to go somewhere. But
Yeah.
how run heavy are they going to go? How is it going to work? Are they going to be?
I actually do think Miami is going to be one of those teams that is annoying to play a couple times a year.
Just because they run the ball
Because
so
they're going
well.
to run the ball very well.
Keep the variance high.
Right. Like the variable of Malik Willis, right, we want to maybe fade some of the A-Chain stuff long term, but like in an individual week, when we know he's healthy, he's suiting up, they could be just annoying to play. It doesn't mean they're going to win a lot of games. They can just be annoying, right? So it can muddy it up.
It's going to be great because like it's going to be the team that when they fall behind, just live bet whoever's already beating them, because Malik Willis as the comeback quarterback is going to be just a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he has more than 23 pass attempts in a single game as a start in the NFL so far. And then was at Liberty before that, came in, sucked at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Just like it's been a disaster for him. And then he plays 2 to 3 good games in Green Bay with an awesome supporting cast.
It was exceptional.
Yes,
He really was.
He was very good
Yeah.
against largely bad teams with an awesome supporting cast.
Sure.
Like, I mean, we see quarterbacks in those situations do well all the time. I mean, see the Vikings, right? Like, I feel like the Vikings are a great scenario of you're lifting up Nick Mullins and the Josh Dobbs of the world. Or even, I don't know, like a Matt Flint who played really well and then goes to Seattle and they can't even beat out, just sucks. Like, So I think there's a lot of different scenarios here where this Dolphins team is really bad. We played them under 4.5 wins. It's like we played at minus 140 was the max. It's up to like minus 160, 3.5 in most places.
Yeah.
I think I would still play under 4.5 at high heavy juice. Not sure I touch 3.5 because again, they're going to win like 1 or 2 random games. 3 or 4 would be pretty lucky in my opinion. 5 seems like insurmountable, to be honest, based on their schedule.
Yeah, no, it's a tough schedule too. That's actually the same thing for the Cardinals too. It's not just necessarily a bad team. It's just a kind of a brutal schedule for a team we're expecting to be kind of one of the bottom feeders. But any thoughts to like leveraging, a team that you like maybe more than the market early in Survivor, whereas it might not look right now where there's a ton of expected probability that they're going to win. But I'm thinking about like, hey, look, I want to leverage. There's the week 1 game in particular that I want to leverage a team that I'm a little bit higher on, and against a team that I'm a little bit down in the market on, where I kind of want to attack them early. That's Minnesota against Green Bay. I kind of want to attack Green Bay early, pre-Micah.
Yeah.
Maybe without Josh Jacobs as well. I'm a little bit more bullish than the market, I think, on Minnesota. And again, on paper, that's not going to look like a spot that I should be attacking in Survivor, but it kind of is a spot that I would want to attack in Survivor, right? Because I feel like it's not going to be a popular game. Right?
I think the times you get contrarian are the weeks where you feel like there could be a lot of chaos, right? So like
Week 1.
Yeah,
right?
week 1, again, like that's great. So because no one's going to pick Minnesota. Like Minnesota's going to be like less than 1% owned, right?
Right.
But again, if you survive that and you get like 1 or 2 of these big favorites gone, or even already used, basically,
right.
like you're at such a massive advantage, I think, relative to the field there starting off. Now again, you have to survive that week and you have to win, but yeah, I think buying low on a team there could make sense. Maybe for me, it might be the Colts early in the season.
Okay.
I don't know what week it's going to be specifically, but I do think that the Colts are, an underrated team. Getting Alec Pierce back now is pretty awesome for them.
Probably not week 1 at home against the Ravens, but
Don't-
maybe that's
no,
a
no.
millions discussion.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, maybe it's a millions discussion. Yeah, probably not a survivor discussion, but I think there are going to be times to buy on the Colts here early,
Yeah.
and maybe the Steelers. I don't know.
Steelers are going to be the
interesting.
other one for
Yeah.
week 1 in particular, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we're both a
It's the
little
Falcons.
bit. Falcons is 3 points. It's at home. If Pittsburgh is who we think they are, which is I think pretty good,
Yeah,
they're going to take. You would hope that they take care of business at home against the Falcons early in the season. We don't know what the quarterback situation is in Atlanta. Like someone's winning the job by not even competing. That's how bad it is. So I think that's a spot where I think is another again 3-point spread. Not necessarily something I think is going to be a popular survivor play, but I think is a spot for people to look at. Those are the two teams. And again, maybe those are millions discussions for us, but those are a couple
Yeah.
teams that I'm interested in.
I think we might see. It looks like Tua is going to start the year with Penix sitting out of the last preseason game. It's tough to win a job if you're not playing at all.
Yeah.
He was kind of started working more in practice, but if you're not going to be playing at all with the first team, it's tough to make a decision there. Even though the rap sheet quote was incredible, it's impossible to name Tua Tagovailoa the starter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a damning quote.
That's
That is
pretty
brutal.
tough. Yeah.
So yeah, I think Falcons could be an interesting team to fade as
Look,
well.
Tua doesn't want to get hit.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh strengths, the defensive line, their pass rush. These are things they just we want to apply early in the season. I think those are a couple of good spots where if you're looking for a reason to get off the Chargers, if you're looking maybe a reason to get off of Jacksonville, I think those are a couple teams we should be looking at.
Love it, love it. I think that's all I have on Millions and Survivor. Anything else you wanted to touch on or anything?
No, I think for that, that's good. We'll maybe do some more future discussion. Maybe we can do a little bit more today with, I think we're going to get, hopefully, Andy back on. He wants, you saw that body as he got up and walked away. He wants to let that thing breathe at the pool today. Get out there. He's been locking up really fancy reservations all over Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Omakase Kings over here.
Yeah.
Him and Drew just ripping some Omakase last night. You'll love to see it.
19-course meals, stuff that doesn't even look like food. It's apparently very expensive per plate.
You can eat
so-
the plate, it's like all edible. So
And we're gonna touch base with our proxy and the people that got us hooked up and can get you hooked up still, because it's not too late for you to leverage a proxy to get into Survivor, to get into Millions here through Circa. Great, again, huge pots, no rake, all the things we've been talking about for the last couple months on the shows to get you guys in. You can get more information in the show notes. But again, we're here now. If you want more information, definitely hit us up. We can help you get set up with the right people that can get you in these prize pools. Compete against us.
I mean, yeah, why not?
You're going to get a sense of our picks every week, so you'll be able to know how to leverage at least what we're doing.
Yeah, it felt like a really natural extension of what we want to do anyways on a week-to-week basis. Talk about our 5 favorite looks and what we're going to be probably leaning towards or potentially looking at. Maybe not going to give you all the sauce, but
Yeah.
I think overall in a really, really good spot. So excited for that. And then, you can register anytime in the next lead up to the season. So this is technically the ultimate whatever contest entry weekends, ton of events. And definitely recommend coming out here next year if you're interested in doing this stuff. But definitely not too late to start firing some entries.
Yeah, hit us up if you have any questions. Let us know. But appreciate it as always. Thanks for dealing with tech challenges as we try to get set up today. So
Yeah, we might have to chop the first 10 minutes or so, whatever.
we cut out Andy.
Yeah, we'll cut out Andy.
I think he
It's-
was using my mic too, so if that was a problem.
Yeah, he was mostly yelling about nothing, so that's okay. It was very Andy style. It
The
was
beauty
great.
of doing live anyway, right? So
Totally.
if you missed Andy, he's Pro Broncos AFC, which might mirror something I have for us in a couple of weeks too. I think
I love that.
considering Pro
Yeah.
Broncos AFC stuff. So
That's great.
all right, appreciate it as always. For Connor, I'm Ryan. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks everybody.
Click
Hit that.
the bottom thing.